Hello everyone and welcome back to Beeftorio, still in the middle of the bad tide that we've been dealing with, but overall that is alright. Still very happy with all the water. Actually, why is there still water flowing in up here? Oh, we're not in a bad tide. The bad tide is approaching. That makes a ton more sense. Alright. So, do have a good amount of explosives left. Not that we really need it at the moment. But there are a couple of things that we just really need to figure out. And I think it would be good to finally get building with the Badwater Dome. So let's try to get back into the game. I've been having a lot of fun playing the... hold on a second. Just gotta make sure. Are you on auto? You are on auto. And that actually worked really well. Awesome. Let's have a look over here. Still water coming out. So much water in there. Yeah, not gonna complain. This is still set on auto, so that should actually work fine as well. It has worked in the past, so I probably don't need to worry. All right. As I was saying, I've been having a ton of fun playing the leaf codes the last couple days, so it was about time to get back into this game right here. And a couple of things that we need to consider and figure out. For example, there's still water flowing in through down here. We're gonna leave that as it is. But in the long run, we do have to deal with 27 days of that. That might actually completely dry out. And that is not a good thing. So the next part that we want to do is we want to be able to store even more water and make it so that this area actually, that we can very easily get water across. At the moment we do have this part right here, but with the drought, there's still water flowing out here. Again, not too bad, because we need the water over this way. All right. Bottom line, though, 27 days is quite a lot. So what we should really be trying to do is look into our water pumps. No. I'm all over the place this morning. So let's unpause the Badwater domes. I want to get the bad water out from here, which means we need to just block this off. And the way to do this, we do need planks, gears, and most importantly, the metal blocks. Metal blocks should be produced right now, considering we do have a mine underneath here. Still very happy with the mine, how that panned out. So quite awesome. Could even consider putting down a storage for the scrap metal. Although, treated planks, 45. Where is our, we are actually not producing treated planks anymore. Nope, we are. Explosives factory, you're on pause. Regular planks down here, gears over here. So maybe it is time to actually put in the treated planks again. We had created it in the past for the deep water pump. So let's go ahead and place one treated plank factory here. However, we also want to make sure that our metal production is somewhere where it needs to be. And as I've mentioned before, I think up here would actually be a good part. We do have all the wood processing down in this area. Getting an okay amount of logs. We do have a ridiculous amount of planks, which I guess is not too bad. I'm actually high prioritize this one right here, because we're a bit low on the gears. All right. So at the moment we have one metal smelter right there, and that we're actually going to move up this way. Which means we also need to figure out how to get the power supply basically in this area. And I think because we also have 155 explosives, what we are going to do is just make a pathway for our explosives across this entire range. And then we also need to explode this away. And then we can actually just very easily connect the power from up here, which goes all the way around into that area right here. And look how quick they are to actually put these in. So let's go ahead and explode these away. And then just to keep it very simple for us, gonna put the vertical shafts in all the way over here. And we need a few more on this side. All right, regular shaft here. This can go around these corners. Let's detonate this one up as well. You are too much. Put in the vertical one here, and then bring in these connections all the way to this side. All right, that will allow us relatively quickly to actually build a couple of our smelters over this side. Smelter 1, 2, 3. I think 3 of them will be good to start out with. And we're leaving the back here for additional industry stuff that will be coming our way. All right. So with all of that in place, again, it's been already another day. Time flies when you're, well, playing on 3 times the speed. Sip of coffee to strengthen myself to continue. And, well, they are actually doing pretty good job at all of these. The wood workshop is in, although we don't have a beaver in there right now, which I guess is fine. Let me still high prioritize the rest of these power connections over here. And then we should probably also prioritize at least one of the smelters, which also means we should be getting more workers down here. At the moment, we have 1 in there. We're actually just lacking workers overall. So next step for us then means we need to put in another housing opportunity for our beavers. And the way we're going to do that is simply by adding a platform over this way. Overhang, not platform. Because that will very quickly allow us to, also highest priority, because again, that's just what we do. That will very quickly allow us to put another large scale house up in the front. I'm gonna connect this up as usual with our platforms over here. So beavers can get inside. And then we do have a couple of things to consider. Now, at the moment, we have the staircase in here, which gets them relatively quickly to the zipline station. However, if I move the staircase over this way, we can connect this up. We can move, and that is the plan for the contemplation spots, away from here, which will then allow us to actually build another staircase up this way. And then we could actually connect it all up there. Might not be the worst thing to do, but maybe also not the best thing to do. For now, we just need to make sure that we are building the houses and the platforms as well, so we have more beavers that can join our little colony. Okay, here we go. All of that on highest priority. And I guess they are slowly putting stuff in here. Yep, very slowly. And with 4 gear workshops, we're actually not that bad at producing stuff. But, oh, injured beavers. I forgot. With the added workers in the mine, we will actually have more and more injured beavers. Right now there are 3 of them, and we only have 2 medical beds for recovery. So let's go ahead and give them a proper space for, you know, for their recovery. Which also means I'm going to destroy these storage units. And then we're gonna turn the area up here into a proper recovery center. So the way we're planning to do this is, first of all, put in, I guess we do have a ton of planks, so we can very easily use platforms to get up here. And then, how can we make this look nice? I really love by the leaf codes, by the way, that you have bunk beds, bunk medical beds. It sounds super weird, but still kind of nice to have. Actually, this might not be the perfect spot for recovery, considering the zipline station is right in front. But then again, if we place it anywhere down here, their neighbors are basically just flying over their heads while they are still sick. Where would be a good place for recovery? A good place for recovery would actually be close to food. So maybe over here would be a good one. I can see that, actually. We do also have a bit of water storage over here to fill up this area, which keeps our farming area green. So why don't we actually put it over there? Then they don't have to walk too far to actually recover as well. So let's go ahead. And it's actually not too bad with the carrots and stuff around. I could see that being actually quite nice for them. Not that they actually do get bonuses from all of this. I mean, there's still the zip line on top. Not ideal, but, you know, that's all right. So if we're doing this, we could actually remove that 1 carrot here, which gives us 4 areas on either side. Not that we are going to use the 4 areas, but I'm thinking we will have a pathway down the middle. Let's actually high prioritize all of this so that gets built. Same as this can get destroyed. Still 3 injured beavers, so overall, yeah, not too bad. And then we're going into decorations. We're placing a shrub at the end, on either end, I want to say. So this will still have to wait. I'm gonna put a lamp in the middle on both sides. And then probably just a beaver statue at the very end. So they actually do get a lot of these bonuses while just hanging out here, which I think will be quite nice for them to have. Station on both sides, and overall it is in a green area. They do get to smell baked potatoes every day. Look at all the builders come rushing in to build all of this. Very cool. All right, so our little medical center is being placed. We also actually do have the herbalist over here. Not entirely sure why I'm placed it facing this direction. Not that the herbalist is actually doing anything, because yeah, we don't have any contaminated beavers at the moment. Okay. Still doing overall okay with the water storage over here. This area is getting a little bit low already, which makes me wonder if we should have actually built a tunnel through here at the very bottom. And maybe we should really do that. Because we could make sure that... No, we shouldn't actually make sure that our water pump is technically pumping out from over here. It is only 2 levels deeper. I guess we could, though. Yeah, I don't know if it's necessary for now. Alright. They are building everything over here already. Let me actually set the rest on the highest priority as well, and we can now place our last tree over here. There we go. They are basically ready to go. They've also built the beaver statue, which I thought needed metal blocks, but they've now also put in the smelter up here, so nothing to worry about there. Now, currently the metal actually has to travel quite a long way in order to get up there, but we'll be figuring this out. Well, sooner or later. Alright. They'll have 6 unemployed beavers. The new house should be in as well, and it is already full. But not too bad. We're actually really low on food. Ooh. How did that happen? Let's see. They are not harvesting these anymore. Why not? There's just too much stuff to do for the few farmhouses that we have over here. So I'm playing very reactive at the moment. Not my favorite idea of how to work with this, but yeah, just what it is. So let's work a little bit on getting another farmhouse in there. And the way we're planning to do this is actually just over there, because we can just block this off. Well, not block this off. Bridge on top of this. Let's set this to the highest priority. And then we actually have a bit more space over here. So we could even plant more carrots down this side. So let's go ahead and do that, actually. And they are putting the platforms in here already. So let's go ahead and also select another efficient farmhouse. And for now, also make sure that all of our farmhouses have the highest priority for work, as well as our water pump. Oh, water pump already does. So very nice. And I guess we do actually get a good amount of food in, but our beavers are eating it all immediately. Still need more regular potatoes because you're not super efficient. I think your remaining productivity 18%. Yeah, that is really low. Once this is in, we could even actually consider going down here a little bit more. And we're planning this in there as well. So farmhouse is in. I can high prioritize this part right there. And what we are going to do, because there's no point in putting stairs in to get to these bits and pieces. So let's put in a little bit of dynamite right here. Highest priority. So we get this done and then set the entire bottom here to be more potatoes. I guess at some point, sooner rather than later, we also need to put in a bit of wheat so we can actually produce higher quality food. But, you know, future worries, future worries. All right, there we go. What is this? There's one poor, lonely potato seedling in the middle of the carrots. So you get removed, and whenever they can replant you or harvest you, we will replant it with carrots. All right. Overall, looking pretty okay, I would say. We do also have another potato that can now go over here. And then we have 4 farmhouses to deal with our beavers. But overall, we're doing actually okay again in terms of food. Water supply still looks decent. 16 days to go. So overall, not bad. But let's figure out what comes next. So we are producing treated planks now. We are very low on beavers. Again, it's just another one of these death waves that is going on. So the next part that we should be really doing is actually continue over this way. Are we gonna move this? You know what? We will move it just because we can. So I'll set this to highest priority, put a path in right there. And once they have built that, actually, let's just remove. No, I'll wait. Because the next morning they will probably go out this way to wrap this part up. All right, there we go. Also means we can actually still put in another overhang like this. And if we do that, we will be able to place another house up here. Once we put in another platform and then another little overhang right there. So housing, another large house, just connecting out the front. And what we are planning to do over here, these are the contemplation spots. Those two we could actually get rid of now. And I will actually do that. They're hanging out because it is close to the center. But this is a much nicer area for them to hang out. They do have a little bit to travel in the morning, but zipline station close by here. So it shouldn't actually take them too long to get there. All right. Otherwise, things are going okay, I would say. How are these coming along? 23 metal blocks. Yeah, I guess the biggest part will be our miners. Actually, we do have 2 miners in there, so not too bad. Where are actually, I guess it's all the builders that are currently not doing much. Let's actually set all of the builder huts to the lowest, not all of them, but the majority of them to the lowest priority. I'm gonna keep this on regular priority. Actually, let's keep you on highest priority. So we definitely have some builders running around at any given moment. They're actually putting in enough stuff over here. Do we need? We don't currently need more of these smelters, so I'm actually gonna pause both of these. Although it would be nice to move this one away from here and up there. But also no particular rush on this. Still have a last area from our initial dam that we decided to not use anymore up here. So let's actually destroy you. And that blew up some of the bad water up here. Yeah. Alright. However, we don't actually need this path here anymore. Interesting that they just came running over this way. Oh, I guess coming from here. Interesting. Alright. The one thing that we really need to store up here is actually some of the metal blocks. So we're already putting in a large stockpile. Metal blocks in there. And then we might... Actually, we can keep this path up and running if we do this. We will have enough space over here for another one of these storage piles. So that should be relatively quick to make. Okay, so slowly making our way there. But this area here, that will take a while to fully finish. I mean, 100 metal blocks is also just a lot of stuff to work with. All right, 12 days. Still doing okay in terms of water pumping over here. There's a bit more dried up area back there. Overall, not too bad, I want to say. And what I've noticed here actually is our pine trees have died. Now, how do we get a bit of water over this way? I mean, we could remove this dandelion here. Or even just remove this space here, have a single under surface connection here. And don't think it's quite necessary at the moment. All right, you guys cannot reach this, so let me actually cancel this part again. This way we know how much is actually being planted and not. All right. You are not connected. Absolutely. That is, well, correct. So let's make a connection over here. Remove these. So we have, in theory, a little bit of extra storage that we could put up there. Don't quite know what we're going to use it for at the moment, but I'm sure we'll need it at some point. Okay, we still also have all of these storages up there that we're not really using and, well, not really needing. Still a bit worried overall in terms of the water. Actually, is that water level here higher than on the other side? So this is one down below this part. No, it's the same level. Good, good. I thought I'm losing my mind a little bit. All right. So what can we do otherwise in terms of our beavers' happiness? I think a shower would actually be nice. They don't have the wet fur perk at the moment. The big question would be, where are we gonna set our showers up? Can we actually, would you be able to reach? You would actually be able to reach all the way to the bottom. This would also fit into the water, and so would this one. So we could make a bit more use of the zipline station. Well, yeah, once it is fully connected in, it will actually make a ton more sense. And maybe, you know what? If we're going to remove you, add the connection. No. I was thinking we could remove you, add the connection in here, and then another connection up there, but obviously that won't work. Yeah, it is a bit of an awkward place or placement. If at least these zipline beams would have connection for 3 of them. You know, we could kind of work with that. But as it stands right now, connecting this up otherwise is just going to be a bit tedious. But yeah, like I said before, we'll figure it out. We will definitely figure it out. I mean, right now we have this circle, and all of that circle should at some point also go straight into the middle. Which also reminds me, the next plan that what we're going to do is, well, quite a long-term plan. But I'm already going to set it up because, well, we do have the planks technically to do all of this. So let's go in here and connect these up. We want to get this to the same height as that top level here, because that will prevent it from flooding completely. We could also just get over to the same height as our water pump. I forgot why we made this one higher. It'll be fine. Right. Let's nonetheless keep connecting this up over here. And this will become the basis for our Happy Beaver expansion in the long term. All right, there we go. And then we can actually just put this on top here. And have this entire area be already properly connected up. One more layer around there. Just like that. Almost there, almost there. Now this will take a while to actually build. But it's, you know, overall it's okay. And one more there, because then we know all we need to put on top of these is another triple platform layer. Which will be a lot easier to deal with than having to figure out how deep the individual bits and pieces are. It will still allow us to keep the water in there because obviously they're all just platforms. Oh, look at that. I actually forgot this part here. There we go. And another one here. How? Double? Double. There we go. We're also going to let them probably actually get down there so they can build more stuff a little bit quicker. Go double here. Nope, that is not enough. So destroy these again. This way our builders will actually be able to do something while they just hang out and basically do nothing otherwise. Did I just remove this after I built it again? Well, built it again after I removed it. I think so. But it'll be fine. And because we're building platforms over here, all of these paths will actually be okay as well. Now, if only, there we go. Be able to connect this properly up. A little bit more. And with that, they should actually be able to build all of this as soon as I put in staircases, and this is where I already messed up. Yeah, I'm glad you guys are watching. There we go. Let's make sure you guys build this stuff first. And they will actually also be able to build that top part here as well. All right. We're overall in a good position. We did a little bit of housekeeping in this episode, but I think overall, let's actually have a look under here. Only 24 more metal blocks, and then we have our first Badwater Dome in. That does remind me though. Oh, look at that. Only 4 open positions and 8 more beavers coming. We will be okay. Water's a little bit low, but the day has just started. So, yeah, I think we'll be alright. Maybe not. Regardless, I'm gonna leave that for the next episode, so thank you all for watching and hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.